count on you. I thought we had a deal. I gave you all I had. Put you in front of friends. It was me and you. For it was one of them. I introduced you to them. I should have seen it then. It was never about me. It's what I could do for you. What you could get about me. Who I could introduce you to. I knew the truth. Still there was nothing I would do for you. A fool for you. You break my legs. Still jump through hoops for you. I thought we had a deal. 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 It's hard to let you go when I'm still holding on. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, should be moving on. This shit is stupid hard, and I ain't ready for it. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, I ain't ready for it. They weren't there for it, no, they weren't there, were they? They weren't there when she despaired to have her prayers working. She wanted to die daily, and I was 9 maybe. I'm on the couch with mom, talking about don't cry, baby. We'll be alright, baby. Yeah, we gon' make it through. I'm scared to death inside, but I know I can't let it through. I ain't know where to turn, I didn't know what to do. You gave me hope when there was none. I owe my life to you. I thought we had a deal.
Leave me not ready to let you go. Let you go. I'm begging, don't leave me. Take anything you want, everything if you want it.
You gave my life purpose before it had any. You gave me courage when I didn't have any. We were the best of friends before I had any. I gave you all I had. You turned your back to me. You set a trap for me. I never seen it coming. You had me blind to if I didn't want to feel you numb it. You left my life a wreck, and I hate you for it. I'm still in love with you, and I hate you for it.
What's up, my peoples? Welcome to St. John Live on this Monday night. My name is Mike St. John. I am in long-term recovery. My sobriety clean date's June the 1st, 2016. How are we doing out there, y'all? Grateful to be here, man. I've had an exciting day. I don't know about y'all's Monday, man. I got to go spend some time inside Madison County Detention Center, drop off some books for the inmates to read, man. Joshua Owens sent me a supply of books. And shout out to the jailer, Steve Tussey himself, for allowing me access to that jail, allowing me an office, and allowing me to walk in and leave whenever I want to. If you don't know about that feeling, it's an amazing feeling. But let us know where you're watching from, man. Let us know you're in here. We got 30 people popping. Hit them heart buttons. Let's get that up to about 30. Share this out. I want to give a shout out to my page sponsor, One Stop Phone Shop out of London, Kentucky. 606-657-2750. Josh Maxey, Darrell Hudson. All your electronic needs, iPhone, iPads, Android, whatever they got it. Adam Larkin with Get Live Apparel, Recovery Apparel. Adam's doing some big things out there in the recovery community. Check them out on getlive.com, GITTLIVE.com. If you don't care, post your sobriety clean dates. Let me get mine in here. And let us know where you're watching from. Coming at you hot from Richmond, Kentucky, old Rich City. But yeah, just honored to be here, man. I've had a good day. Hope you all have too. Remember, if this live button's not on up here, right there, you're not live. It's a replay. So if you was to run across this as a replay, hit hashtag replay. But listen up. If you're struggling, reach out. Help is available. 859-300-1503. Protea Behavior and Health Counseling is doing some amazing things in Kentucky. We have beds available. We have men's beds available, women's beds available. We have sober living beds available. We have IOP beds available. Listen, there is no reason, unless you're not done. If you're not done, I get it. But there is no reason why you're not living a life of freedom. Being able to wake up and enjoy everyday life, clean and sober. That is what this program has given me. And like I said, if you're not done, you're not done. But if you're struggling, you run across this now while we're live or after a while, we have beds available. You're not alone. The hardest 3 words you're ever going to say is, hey, I need help. That's going to be the most rewarding 3 words you're ever going to say. I promise you that. Shout out to Jasmine's House Recovery Home for Women here in Richmond, Kentucky. My wife, Pamela Marie St. John. She's a boss. She's my boss. But it's just been amazing to watch her grow and watch her house grow. These women come in busted, broke, disgusted, and to see them, I went by there today and just to see them smiling, man. It's why we do what we do. I'm going to get in these comments, give some shout outs. We got 52 comments in here. Let me scroll up here. Let's see. Gordy Watt. I can't say his last name. Welcome, Gordy. I love you, boy. What's that? One Power is what? Urban Southwood. I see you, Gordon. Yeah, he's silly. Mark Sanford. What's up, man? Welcome. Kelsey Don. Welcome. Cameron Arnold. Shout out to Cameron Arnold, man. He's locally here in Madison County. He's supported me from day one. He's a huge support of what I do, the jail ministry. My podcast, Jasmine's House, anything we need, he's got us. We got some Facebook users in here. I don't know why it's not showing who you are, but anyway, you got the red hearts, the purple hearts. Lisa Marie Reed coming in from Indiana. Oxford House. Amanda McGowan from Russell County. Lisa needs some prayers. She has COVID and stuck in Seattle. Listen, we'll pray for you. You will get through this. You're not alone. You're strong. You're going to get through this. Emily Highsclope sitting there in the living room here, my guest. She was trying to tell me how to run my show, and I told her to go have a seat and watch that dog. But anyway, Emily, we love you. Daniel Kitchen from Greenup County. Graham Sullivan, what up there, Graham? Proud of you, bub. Brandy Coughlin from Alberta, Canada. Listen, that's awesome. We got people here from all over the world. We got somebody from Canada watching. I mean, that's powerful. Rob Fields, I just got done eating pizza actually before I come on here, and a corn dog. So now I'm not hungry. Shout out to Rob Fields, amazing. I love you, big guy. Jordan Woods, I see you, boy. Speak out loud. Listen, I recover out loud to keep others from dying. You hear me, boy? Andrea Jones, watching from Florida. Look there. Got one in Florida watching. Chad Everett Keepin from Canada. That's another one from Canada. Ontario in here. Cody Sparks, I see you, bub. Mark Sanford watching from Virginia. We got Carrie Russo from Rhode Island. They in here from all over the world tonight, huh? All over the world. That's what I'm talking about, man. If y'all don't care, hit that share button. Let's get this out there to Rhode Island, Virginia, and all that. Rob Fields, 5-17-19. Kelsey Don, 12-15-21. Teresa Henry from Somerset, Protea Strong. Hashtag Protea Strong in here. 9-13-21. Sam Miller from Berea. I see you, big guy. Brandy 11-9-17. April Osborne from Albany, Kentucky. Andrea Jones, Holly Griffin, Daniel Melton, 8-19-19. Shout out to Daniel Melton, man. He's down from my hometown, Corbin, Kentucky, and I needed a huge favor down in Corbin, and I called Daniel, said, hey, bro, I need you. He went and got a chainsaw, and he took care of business. You hear me? One phone call away. That's what I'm talking about. That's the friends I have today. Mark Sanford, August 25th, 19. Jamie Luster, I see you. Hope Center, boy, 8-21-18. Amber Rowe, August 11th of 22. Andrew Morrow, I see you, big dog. Holla, holla, hashtag what? Come on now. Amanda McGowan, 9-3-20. Russell County, we were blessed with your story. This past Saturday, I was able to travel to Russell Springs, Kentucky, and share my story, man, their first ever recovery rally. And I have a passion, man, for these small communities where recovery is not real big. And I was honored to go share my story. And thank you all for having me, man. I'm just a messenger. I can't take no credit. God gets all the glory. I'm just here to show up. Daniel Melton, Jesus is King. I see you, bub. Jason O'Neill, Cowboy. What up? Show out them, boy. My wife, 12-8-15, Richmond, Kentucky. Jordan Woods, 6-24-17. Paul Martinez, I see you from Quincy, Washington. Can I get a come on? You got it there, Cowboy. Jen Wolf, Protea Strong. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you. We love you. You're next. Get ready. Gordy, we know she's your boss. Listen, quit picking on me, Gordy. Amy Fields, I see you in here. We love you. Tommy Barton, Protea Strong. Emily is April 11th, 2020. I see you. Rob from Germany, he's got jokes tonight, boy. I swear. I love it though. We got a lot of Protea in here, man. Listen, shout out to Protea. Curtis Collins from the Madison County. I see you, big guy. Glad you in here. Tommy Barton. Let's see. We're gonna get started, man. This the guest I have tonight, Alexis Hembry, 10-7-20. Yeah, Protea strong. Brecken Fox, 9-4-22. Listen, Brecken, we're proud of you, man. We're glad to see you back on the wagon. We're glad to see you back in recovery because, you was in bad shape. And me and my wife love you. Casey Spicer coming in from Florida, 9-11-21. Josh Jenkins, 3-17-20. Richard Rodas, 12-9-19. I see you, Richard. Good to see you in here, big guy. Holly Griffin, carry the message, not the mess. Let's see. Anyway, we're going to get started. I don't see no new ones in here. Nick Dorsey. But anyway, me and my wife was talking, and our guest tonight, man, my wife plays a huge part in her story. And she's like, listen, now that's my little baby. I'm like, well, listen, your baby better get on here and show out. You hear me? Before we get started, man, hit that heart button. Let's get this shared out to the groups. If y'all don't care, man, we're going to get this started. With that, I'm going to bring in, I feel like I'm introducing a wrestling star. Like her name is like something off WWF or WWE or NWA or something like that. But I'm going to bring you Raven. Don't give me the old elbow. Pow.
I'm on. No.
What's happening? How you doing tonight?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Blessed to have you on here, man. I wanted to give you a big introduction and bring in the lights and the cameras, but
I don't know if I'm worth all that. I don't know.
Oh, you're worth all that and many more. Yes, you are.
Oh man. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and get started. So, my sobriety date is October 31st of 2021, which is Halloween, which is a damn good sobriety date if you ask me. I had 3 years before that, but I lost it. That's a whole different story. So just a little backstory. I had a pretty good childhood. My parents were the type of parents that they loved me, yes, but they also kind of, just threw money at me to get out of their face, So, my mom's great, my dad's great, but I don't think they were capable of the type of love that I wanted or thought I should have. You know what I mean? They gave me everything they could, So, growing up, I was blessed with a lot. I never wanted or needed for anything. I was one of those kids that, said, Mommy, Daddy, I need this, and it was there. So I went to high school at a private school. Actually, this is kind of funny, at a private Christian school. So my 9th through 12th grade, I wore the whole long blue jean skirts and the polos and like represented that, and then, I was a cheerleader my entire life. I cheered from the time I was 3 up until I was 14 or 15. And then I finally had to let go of it. So, that's kind of where my addiction kind of started. So whenever I was 15, 16, I was that girl that was going to the field parties, and like you see these memes and stuff. And it's like, we were lying to our parents and telling our parents that we were at our best friend's house, but we were really like in a field passed out on vodka. That was me. I was laying in the fields at 15, 16 drunk and, loved it. I remember at 16, I got my first heartbreak, and I would hide liquor in my liquor cabinet I had like a chest or something in my room that I would hide liquor in, and my parents would go to bed and I'd bring it out and I'd get drunk and then pass out and wake up. And the next night I would do the same thing. So at a very early age, I knew I was an alcoholic. Like I knew that there was something wrong with me, but I let that go. And alcohol was never really an issue for me at that time. Right. So time goes on and I'm like 18 at this time. And I meet a boy, and he introduces me to Pert 30s, So my first ever anything that I ever did, like I skipped and I went straight to the 15s and the 30s and I did the pain pills and all of that. I never, did anything kind of lower than that. So I kind of just started up. And I remember that feeling of just completely being okay. Like I was comfortable. I could talk to and I'm a talker, so I can talk to anybody anyway, but I literally can't. I just felt so accepted for who I was, and so that goes on, and I'm experimenting for like, I don't know, probably 2 years before it really gets bad, and then it starts to get bad. So I'm probably, I don't know, I want to say like 19, 20, my early 20s. And I met another guy, because that's always how it is. Like, because I'm gay, period, and I always knew that I was gay. Like always, I never found a man attractive my entire life. But, that's what I was supposed to do. I'm dead serious, but that's what I was supposed to do. My parents were the parents that were, well, if you're gay, you're going to hell, and if you're gay, we're going to disown you. And, if you're gay, we're never going to speak to you again. So, from a very early age, I knew that I could not be who I wanted to be.
Right.
I knew I couldn't be who I was supposed to be. So men, they're in and out of my life because that's what I'm supposed to do. Right. Well, so I meet a man, and I moved to Columbia, Kentucky with him, and we're together for about a month, and I find out I'm pregnant.
Uh-oh.
And so, I'm fully in like full-blown active addiction now. Like I'm doing meth, I'm doing pills, I'm drinking, I'm doing everything I can. And, I've got this little baby inside of me. And took 16 pregnancy tests, to actually just make sure that I'm pregnant, because it can't happen to me, right? Like that's just something that can't happen. Well, it did. And and this is really hard for me to say, but despite everything during my whole entire pregnancy, I couldn't stop using, I just didn't. My child's love for me wasn't enough. The health of my child was not enough. Nothing like that was enough, so I used my entire pregnancy. The guy that I got pregnant by, he actually ended up going to jail. I think it was like 2 months into my pregnancy. So I had to move back home and all of that. So I get pregnant. I have Jaylee, who is the most amazing little girl in the whole entire world. And, she's born addicted. And so I have to give custody of her up to my mom for about the first 30 days of her life, and that was probably the first time that I actually realized that I'm an alcoholic and I'm a drug addict and I cannot stop, and I mean, I remember my whole pregnancy, like, just questioning, like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't understand why I can't just stop. Right. But excuse me. I'd never been introduced to AA, NA, nothing at this point. So I go back home, and Jaylee's like 6 months old. She's not very old at all. And I remember I went to Wayne County and picked up some Xanaxes, and I took them and I drove home. And like I don't know how I made it there, to be completely honest. Like I have no idea how I made, and like it's like a 30-minute drive, Right. So I pull in the driveway, and my dad comes outside because I'm passed out in my car, and like he freaked out on me. He's like, what the hell's going on? Like, I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. So here comes my first treatment facility. So at the age of 22, I went to my first treatment facility in Harlan, Kentucky. And I hated it. God, I hated it. But that was like my first like taste of AA. So I'm in this treatment facility. All these people are like speaking Spanish to me. Like I don't understand anything about this book that they have presented me, nothing. And I remember like laying in SOS if anybody who's been to a long-term treatment facility, they know what that is. And I pick up this book and I'm trying to read it, and it's the AA book, and I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, I don't even think I comprehended anything, but during that time, I started to pick up on certain things that they were saying. Like, I learned what the 12 steps were. I learned what the traditions were. I learned, all of these things. And so I got a little bit of a taste for it. But, my claim to fame back then was, well, I'm not DOC. I'm not nothing. I can walk out of here at any time. Right. So the first chance I had to walk out of there, whenever somebody was trying to hold me accountable, I did it. I was going, and I'm like, called my dad, like, Dad, they fucked up. They did this. It's not my fault. It's not my fault, and playing that whole pity, poor, pitiful me thing.
Yeah.
So my dad drives to Harlan, picks me up, and I get back home, and I'm like, okay, the drugs are out of my system. I can do this now. And things are normal. I got on the Vivitrol shot for about 6 months, and things were pretty normal then. I was being a mom, living with my parents. I was working, and I met somebody, met somebody again. And so I meet somebody, and they're like, oh, I don't do anything, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm whatever. And next thing you know, I'm sitting in the side of the car, and I'm putting a needle in my arm for the first time. So that was the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? And that's really where the devil in my eyes took over, where my addiction took over, and it took me to a whole nother level. So this goes on for, I don't know, probably, oh gosh, I'm 24, 25, 24, something like that. And then I decide, okay, it's time to go back to long-term treatment. This is where your wife comes into play. So I take off and I go back to long-term treatment in Lexington. And, that, God, man, that made such an impact on my life. At that point, I was willing and I was teachable, but I wasn't there yet,
Right.
So I did the things that I was supposed to do. I did the motions. I did everything I was supposed to do. And then I meet a girl, and it's like, okay, so this just feels like perfect because, I met some girl, and I'm able to be who I want to be. So, I ended up leaving that program. There was a couple programs that were like in the middle of those two, but I didn't really stay long enough for, anything. So I leave, I go back home, meet another guy, and it just kind of that vicious cycle that we all talk about, like my thing was not only drugs and alcohol, but it was anything that made me feel better, anything that made me feel that void, men, women, anything that I could get away with not looking at myself. That's what I did. So, but your wife told me something that stuck with me throughout everything. And I still use this, like, to this day. I tell Emily this all the time, and I tell, certain people all the time. She told me this, and I'll never forget it. They had like this little smoking area, and we were out there like in between the Chrysalis House and, Hope Center. And she looked at me. I was going through something. I can't remember exactly what I was going through. And she said, Raven, you got to feel, heal, and deal. And I was like, what? And she was like, no, you have to do that. You have to understand. And you have to understand that you have to do these things for you to progress into that next part of your recovery. And literally to this day, like, I will say that to certain people that are going through things, and I always think of her.
Aww.
Yeah, I love her. She's awesome. But so time goes on, and I go back out. And like I said, I meet another man. Well, this was it. This was going to be it. I'm getting sober. I'm doing all this, blah, blah, blah. Well, I love how that I like to say that I'm getting sober with the plug, because he's going to help me. He's going to get me off this. He's going to do that. Right? No, That's delusional, and that's not how it happens. So I ran the streets. I was homeless. I did all of that for like 3 years after I left Hope Center, and just was buck ass wild, and the needle got me, man. I mean, I can't really describe anything that's like that, devil. I can't, and that's one of those things that took me to a whole new level whenever it came to my addiction. It made me do a lot of things, like we've all done it. I've sold myself. I've been there. I've done it. Anything that you could imagine to get what you needed, I've done. I'm a junkie, and I mean, now I'm a recovered junkie, yes, but I was a junkie to the core, so I get with this dope dealer, and I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm just going to sell the dope. I'm just going to sell it, and I'm going to watch it, whatever. Like, cause that's my answer to everything, more chaos. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I get with him, and, one night cops showed up to the house got raided. He jumped out the window cause I told him to go. So guess who's left with the charges? Me.
You.
Yeah, because I'm smart, and I'm like, yeah, he loves me. Let's just do this, stupid shit. So I caught my first felony charge, and my only felony charge, luckily. So I got charged with possession. Oh God, I can't even remember what it was. Possession, trafficking, methamphetamine, whole bunch of shit. And I go to jail. So I'm in jail. And they send me back out to rehab, right? So I go back to rehab, and all right, Gordy, $20 is $20. I just looked down in the comments and seen that. So I go back to rehab, and I go back to rehab, and I'm at Skyhope for like, I guess I was there 2 months before I met Emily. And, me and my perfect thinking of, hey, let's just jump into another relationship, because that cures everything. That's my answer for everything. It's let's just jump back into a relationship. So I meet Emily, and I leave Skyhope. Let me just say this, because I know she's watching. She is amazing. She is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I would not take back anything that ever happened or the way it happened, but it caused me a lot, so I ended up leaving rehab and going with her and being with her, which is the best thing on this entire planet. But I have to go back to jail. So, I am 8 months sober at this point, because I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. What do? We run, right? So even though I'm sober and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm literally going to AA meetings and doing all of this stuff, I'm still on the run from the law, because that old behavior is still like, well, I'm going to make it until Christmas, and then I'm going to go back to jail. So, I run for, I don't know, probably 4 months. And some guy, and I don't even, I honestly, if I ever saw him, I would thank him, because he helped me get to where I am. Called the cops on me. I was at the gym, walking out of the tanning bed, living a normal life, and saw me, and he called the cops on me, and he put me back in jail. And I thank him for that, because I don't think I would be at where I am today if it hadn't happened the way that it did.
Right.
So I go back to jail for 6 months, and then I get back out again. Right. So whenever I get back out, they release me to go to rehab again. Right. Do I go to rehab again, John? Nope. Sure don't. I run again.
Yep.
So by this time, I'm like a year and a half sober. Right. So you think that with me getting the drugs and the alcohol out of my system, like I'm cured, and I don't have all these alcoholic behaviors, and I don't do all of this stuff. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. I I definitely still think like an addict and an alcoholic, even though I'm sober. So obviously I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm not living by that number one spiritual principle, and that's honesty. So I get out, and I run again, and I go back to jail again for 6 more months. And then I finally get out, and by this I've got like 2 years sober, and I get out again, and I got out on MRS this time. So I didn't have, I just had to walk paper.
Right.
And I'm telling you, like, just sitting back thinking about it, it's like I see so many things that I should have done different, but I didn't, but I'm grateful for it at the same time because I learned a lot from it. Like, I learned exactly who I want to be and who I don't want to be. And so I get back out, and at this time Emily's already working for Protea. And things are great. Like, things are going awesome for us. And I get a job with Protea. I started there. I created, I don't know if you could call created, but I guess you did, a company called Protea on the Go. And whenever we get everything up and running, it's been like a year in the making. We're in the final steps now. So it's going to be used to transport our clients and stuff. So I built that company kind of from the ground up. And I was working there. I started working there in September of last year, August or September, I think, of last year. And, things are awesome. Like, this is late September that I start working there. And then October comes around. I've gotten a little bit of success back. I'm doing things with my life. I'm being a productive member of society, right? But I get that little bit of success back. And what do I think I can do? I think I can use, I think I can use successfully. No. I think I can use without anybody finding out. I think I can go back out there for one more time, So I call somebody, and I'm like, hey, I need some dope, right? They bring me the dope. I wait till I get home to do it, and I'm getting in the shower, and I did it right before I got in the shower. And I got out of the shower, and I'm like, damn, this is good, or I just fucked up. Well, I just fucked up. So I go to lay on my bed, and I remember being able to lay down, and I remember like my head was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, oh shit, I know what's happening. But that's the last thing that I could do, right? So Emily comes in about, I don't even know how much later. She finds me dead. And it takes 2 things of Narcan to bring me back. So, I have all of this stuff that has happened to me. Like, I'm doing good. I've got a vehicle. All of these things are like going for me. And then I think, okay, I'm just going to go use, and it's going to be okay because nobody's ever going to find out. Because I don't work a program, and I don't have to be honest, right? As long as nobody knows, I'm okay. So that was the day that I think I truly realized that, this is not a fucking game. This is life or death, and that was the day that that changed my life, that truly changed who I am and the path that I was going down. For so long, even though I was sober, I was doing all this shitty stuff, man. Like, I was, what's it called? I was clean but living dirty, or whatever they call it, and that was my life. Like, I had that reservation left, and I acted upon it, and it killed me. Point blank, period, killed me. So, luckily that day, Emily had tried to call her sponsor, couldn't get a hold of him because it's disc golf day, right? So everybody knows when it's disc golf day, Gordy's not answering the phone. So she called the 2 people that were closest to her, and that was Rob and Amy. And I remember, and I call them my mom and dad. So if you hear me calling them my mom, they are my parents. I don't have a really good relationship with my parents, so those are my parents. And so I remember my mom and dad walking in, and my mom looking at me and she was like, what happened? You know, and I was like, I don't know. And I'm in tears and I'm a mess, you know, because at that moment, I did not know what had happened. I didn't know what led me to that point. But you know, one of the best things about that day, even though it was a terrible day, is A, I learned what I never wanted to do ever again in my entire life. And B, I learned what the true meaning of family was, what the true meaning of unconditional love was. I'm going to cry. You know, I've never been taught that my entire life. Like, my parents always put expectations on my love. Like, you need to meet this expectation for me to love you. You know, you need to do this for me to love you. Can't be gay for me to love you. You know, all of these things. And here's these people that have been in my life since August, and they love me unconditionally. Like, it hurt them to see me the way I was.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I like to say that that's the best and the worst day of my life. And, but I also want you guys to know how grateful I am for that relapse, how grateful I am the fact that I was dead. And I know that sounds crazy, but like that, there's so much truth in that one statement, because the fact that I died that day led me to a whole new life. It led me to truly get real honest with myself, real honest with everybody else, and let everybody know that this is me, man. Like, this, I may fuck up from way back. You know what I mean? But I don't ever want to be that person ever again.
Right.
And until my higher power put certain people, places, and things in my life to put me on this certain path, I was going to be clean and living dirty, you know, for however long I could get away with it. And, but that's what we do, right? Because we're alcoholics and drug addicts, and we want to get away with as much as we possibly can. So, you know, that day for me was, and I realized, and I know what happened now. You know, I worked very intensely with my sponsor, and I reached out and I went to meetings, and, you know, I told everybody, you know, I was like, hey, listen, I fucked up. Like, this is my new sobriety date, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's just to be honest is something I've never practiced in my entire life. Even when I was clean, I didn't know what honesty was. You know, I had no idea. And that's just one of the reasons why I am so grateful for that relapse, because I'm honest today. You know, I don't try to self-sabotage today. That's what I was getting at. So that's what I came to the conclusion of whenever I did all of my step work. Like, I got a little bit of success back. You know, I got a vehicle. I was working. I was doing all this stuff. So I self-sabotage myself, because my mind is, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of these things. I'm not worthy of these people in my life. I'm not worthy of my wife. I'm not worthy of my daughter. Like, I'm not worthy. I struggle with that a lot. And, you know, that's one of the things that this relapse made me realize, is that I am worthy. I am just as worthy as the next person, you know, and I don't have to self-sabotage anymore, because there's people out there who love me and that who believe in me, you know. And that's one of the things, man. Like, this has been such a freaking crazy journey, because, like, so I'm sitting here almost a year later. Emily and I, you know, we were in a 1-bedroom apartment, and, you know, struggling to get by, like living not even paycheck to paycheck sometimes, like sometimes dime to dime, you know what I mean? Hoping to rub those things together and get something bigger out of it. But, you know, the thing about it is I get to come home every day to an amazing wife. I work a great program these days, you know, because I know that if I don't, where I'm going to be. And I get to come home to a house that her and I have built, like this amazing life together, you know. And my little girl gets to come over. She gets to be with us Thursday through Sunday now, you know. And that was one of my big things. Like, here I am. I'm 3 years sober. My kid's not in my life. You know, I mean, she's in my life sometimes when she wants to be, but like now, you know, she wants to actually be here. Like she
Yeah.
enjoys it, you know, and she she loves being around. So that's been one of the biggest blessings. And I don't think that I really took any of that to heart until after my overdose, until after my relapse. Like I just kind of always thought that she was there, but she would never really be a part of my life in that way anymore because of all of the mistakes I'd made, all of the mistakes I'd made. And that's not true, man. Like that little girl loves me, you know, like she loves me. She loves her mom and she loves the fact that she's got 2 moms, you know, like you should hear sometimes she'll tell everybody she'll call me mommy and then she'll turn around and call Emily mommy or mom. And they're like, you have 2 moms? She's like, yeah, I have 2 moms, you know? So it's really cool to be able to see that relationship like just grow and flourish. And you know, I don't know why, but my mom and dad saw something in me to give me a chance and give me a bigger, you know, of course, Protea on the Go is an amazing part of Protea, but they chose to give me a bigger role. And that role is the head of HR. And, you know, so like the peer support and the clinicians and all of these people get to see these, you know, these addicts and alcoholics come off the street and like they, you know, just rebuild their foundation. Man, I get to see these people who are just like me and you know, and who have went out and have been in recovery and don't think that they're ever going to be able to get a job again because of their background or the things that they've done in their past or, you know, the fact that they're even in recovery. And I get to give them that chance. You know, I get to find the people who help these people recover, you know, and I'm not real good with clients because I'm kind of a bitch sometimes, you know, and I like to tell you how it is. Like I'm not Emily. Let me just put it that way. I'm not sponsor you. I don't like to talk to you like, well, let's just find a solution. I'm like, no, this is not happening. You are screwing up right now, you know?
Yep.
So for me to get to place certain people in our clients' lives to help them become better people and to help them recover is the most fulfilling thing that I've ever had in my entire life. You know, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, Mike. I'm learning myself. You know, I've never done anything like this. And, you know, they always tell us to remain teachable and willing. And that's what I have done. You know, like I will continue to remain teachable and to remain willing and to continue on this journey that I've had been blessed with. I don't even know what it, you know, Protea has changed my life. Terry Russ, Jen Wolf, you know, Rob, Amy, Robbie, Andrew, you know, my sisters, Laren and Lexi, like they have all changed my life, man. Like I get to walk into a company every day that doesn't even feel like work, you know, like it doesn't feel like anything other than me going to hang out with my family, you know, like I can't even fathom anything else, you know, like every dream that I have ever had has came true, period. You know, and I'm truly blessed, man. And that's one thing that like I hope everybody knows is that just because you get a new sobriety date doesn't mean it's over, man. It does not. Like it is truly the beginning of something even more beautiful. Like it's the death of your past and of those past mistakes. Even if you're in sobriety, like even if you have had multiple years of sobriety, like I'm actually living now. I'm not just existing, you know, and I get to bring joy and hope to not even clients, but just people in general that are in our program. And, you know, and I don't know. I'm truly grateful to get to be who I am today, if that makes any sense. You know, I don't know, me and my sponsor, we were talking before this, you know, and I don't know if you know this or not, but this is my first time that I've actually sat down and shared my story ever, you know, ever. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm nervous, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, listen, go in there and just tell them from the heart, you know? And I'm like, well, I can do that, but I don't know, Holly. She's like, you've got this, you know,
Yeah.
just chill. And I'm like, okay, I will, you know, but I don't know, man. Like I think of everything that has happened to me in my entire life. You know, up from the time that I started doing drugs until now. And God has led me to where I'm at today for a reason. He's led me to these people in my life. He's led me to Protea. He's led me everywhere I needed to go. As soon as I took myself out of it, he put me exactly where I was supposed to be, man. And that is the one thing that keeps me going, you know, and I just got to continue to, because I create chaos, man. Like I create so much chaos. I don't know if you've seen me at work. I love that. I'm thriving off of it. You know what I mean? But it's good chaos today. It's like, well, this person needs to do this. I need to, you know what I mean? It's not like, when's the dope man coming? Well, do I need to find somebody else? It's good chaos. And it's amazing. And what Protea is doing, I've never seen that. I come from therapeutic community. You know what I mean? Like I come from I don't want to call it a jury of your peers, but sometimes that's what it feels like, you know,
Oh,
like,
I know.
and they are like judge, jury, and executioner, man. Like it's, you know, so to be able to have a place in something that I see is working in such a different aspect, you know, because it's so different than what anybody else is doing, and it fucking works, you know. And it not only does it work, like it has literally just exceeded all of my expectations, and I think everyone else's too, you know. Honestly, like I'm just, man, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed, and I love it. I love my life today. You know, I'm truly, truly grateful for where I'm at, man. And but it all comes back to that last relapse. It's like that really is where I stopped trying to control everything, and I truly just let God in. You know, and that's what it's all about, man. That's it.
And that's what I like, you know what I'm saying? Because me and you spoke prior to coming live. And we was speaking about treatment centers, this and that and that and this. And, you know, me hearing your story, you know, this is my first time in recovery. And of course, I didn't believe in it when I first got to the Hope Center.
Right.
But, you know, we got to practice it every day in our life. But I believe that, number one, you got to be done. And number two, you know, clean and dirty don't jive together.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I agree.
You can't be the face of recovery and selling dope behind the sidelines.
Right.
But you also got to have the right people in your circle that believe in you, push you, and you got to remain teachable. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, me, you, and Marie, Gordy, and a bunch of them on here, we come from the courtroom, and you know, and you know, and that just shows you they are different ways to recover. Like
Absolutely.
you know, it's not about you know, writing this, writing that, whoopty whoopty whoop. But that's what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? You was taught, my wife, Gordy, and to be with Protea, and like it's completely
opposite. And you know, that's the thing, man. Like, so for a long time, like I thought, because you know, and I say I remain teachable, but the way I was taught, I thought, okay, this is the only way that you can get sober.
Yes.
No MAT, no nothing, you know, and that's truly not real, man. Like it's truly not. And, you know, to see what Protea is doing has opened my eyes to so much more, you know, and that's the thing. Like I have to kind of check myself a little bit, because I'm like, okay, just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. You know, I'm not that damn important. So nothing that works for me is going to work for someone else. Like there are so many different pathways out here to recovery. As long as you recover, that's all that matters. That's
Yeah.
it. And you know, until I got with Protea, I was like, nope, this is the only way you can do it. You know, man, I was delusional for real.
It just shows us, like, you know, I learned a lot from Marie, but being inside the box now and seeing, you know, these amazing people come from broken, busted, and now they're smiling, getting their kids back. And, you know, judgment plays a huge role in recovery, because maybe you're not doing what I'm doing, and Raven, you're not doing what I'm doing. And that's where the stigma comes from. You know what I'm saying? Recovery is about getting better.
Yeah.
You know, getting back on this path, the path's out there. We choose to go right or left out here, pick up and use, whoopty, whatever.
Right.
But the point of the matter is, man, is to get out of the way and let a power greater than ourselves, which mine's God, I'll keep it on me, because I know everything, and you spoke on it. We tried everything in the world to make us happy, to make us successful, to make us have this, to make us have that. And it was all a failure.
Right.
Until we become open-minded and teachable and done our own research, like everything that I have in my life, my family, the freedom, you know, all these materialistic stuff, whatever, whoop-de-whoop, is everything that I prayed for. But number one, I had to have faith and I had to believe.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, that's why, like, so during that time, last year, whenever I had my relapse, like that was kind of another thing that I was doing. Like, I was questioning my higher power. You know, this is where you and I differ. Like, you believe in God, and that's great. You know, I do not. I believe in, so I call it spirit, you know, and that's the thing. Like I'm not necessarily very God. You know, I'm more nature, and I like crystals, and I like grounding and things like that. You know, that is one of those things where I have like truly like flourished in. Like, it has helped me so much, you know. So, and that's one thing that during that relapse, you know, my whole life, it was, you believe in God, or you're going to hell, blah, blah, blah. And so I was questioning that. You know, I knew I believed in something, but I knew it wasn't God. I knew it wasn't like the biblical God or, you know, anything like that. So I couldn't put it together. Like, I couldn't make it work. Like, and that was part of the reason why I just kept questioning. I was, why? Well, why is this? You know, I just couldn't put it together. Like, it wasn't making sense to me. And then I finally just let go all of that. And I was like, I can believe in whatever the hell I want to believe in, you know? And that's why, you know, I call it spirit, and I ground myself. Like, I will go stick my feet in the ground, and I will sit out there and talk to my sponsor. And I have crystals in my house, and I use sage. I wear crystal bracelets on, you know, I'm very much into that stuff, you know. You're laughing at me, but it's the truth, man. Like,
no, listen,
you know,
I'm picturing your feet in the ground. Like,
absolutely.
Corbin's dug some flower holes out here in the yard, and every time I weed eat, I trip and fall. And I see you with your feet in the ground right now. I'm sorry.
I don't actually put them in the dirt, Mike. They just go on the grass. But, you know, that is that's been a part of my spiritual journey, to figure out exactly what I believe in, you know. And to that, it's really put into perspective just how different every single person's recovery is.
Yes.
You know, and what a higher power means to so many people. So,
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Like, and I speak on this a lot in my jail ministry, and, you know, I ask guys, or, you know, of course, when you're in jail and you ask them, are you done getting high, drunk, selling dope, robbing, whatever your problem is, are you done? They're like, yeah. And I say, well, do you see the rest of, like, I'll keep it on me. Like, do I see the rest of my life without shooting pills and drinking and selling dope? And while I was in treatment, man, like, I wanted to be clean and sober and get my life back, because I liked what I started seeing in the mirror. Right. But I really wasn't bought in if I was going to be able to make it without selling dope. So that's where I struggled on the fence, because my family still to this day are out there in the problem. And for a long time, I lived by my family's reputation, who they was, what they was about, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And my sponsor said, listen, you see the outcome of where they've been, where they're going, getting out of prison, getting out of jail, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Is that what you want to be? And at this time, Marie got pregnant. I'm like, listen, man, I don't want my son and my kids, which today I can speak on both of my children, to experience what I had experienced growing up. And that hit me hard because my sponsor punched me right in the mouth with that.
Right.
And that day, that's when my mind said, listen, you're either all in or you're all out. And 6.5 years later, I've been all in. But, it's just amazing because, and you speak on the relapse because a lot of people that I deal with inside the jail or treatment facilities, back to what you said, they get this, they get that, they're doing this, they're involved here, they're involved there. Well, listen, when you're not doing this and you don't have all that and all this stuff is stripped away from you, who are you when you're locked in a room if you're in your bathroom right now and everybody's gone and you look yourself in the mirror, are you okay with you? That is that is a powerful question because everything we have does not belong to us.
That's right. It's
in our name. So when they run our tag, it comes back to who it is. We borrowed $200,000. They know who's liable for it.
Yeah.
But in reality, like my kids, them's my kids as a title. But today, them kids don't belong to me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
My wife don't belong to me. Everything that we have going on in our life does not belong to us. It can be gone when we end this live tonight.
And that's the thing, man. It took me. So whenever I go into the mirror and I look at myself, I don't just like who I am, man. I love it.
Yes.
I truly get up every day and, I sit in my bed and I read the daily reflections. I get up and I get dressed and I go to work with my family. No, actually I go hang out with my family, and I do all of these things, but I do know one thing is for sure. The reason why I have everything that I do today is A, my higher power, B, my sobriety, and C, because I work a damn good program, and I use all of those things and I apply those principles in every aspect of my life, man. Honesty, hope, faith, all of them. I'd use them everywhere. So I'll tell you a real quick story real quick. So my sponsor, who is my sponsor today, back whenever I was like in and out of jails doing all this crazy shit and sober, she was my sponsor then. Well, she wanted me to get honest, right? She wanted me to go turn myself in. She wanted me to do certain things that I wasn't okay with doing. Like she wanted me to start my steps over and blah, blah. I told her no. I dropped her as a sponsor. I wasn't ready. I was not ready, man. But this is how my higher power works. She stopped in to see me at Protea I guess it's been about 2 months ago now. And God did that. My God, anyway, my spirit did that. And he said, hey, I'm going to put this person back in your path. And she's going to become your sponsor again because you are willing to be honest now. And you're willing to be open-minded. And you're willing to do whatever it takes. And you want to be teachable, right? So I got mad because I had to give up not mad. I don't want to say mad. I hate breaking up with sponsors, man. Like it's the worst thing in the world. But the sponsor that I had, we just, had a disconnect, kind of just outgrew each other. So I picked her back up as my sponsor. And it's funny because 3 years ago, almost 4 now, whenever I started this journey, to now, it's like night and day. Like she will come at me with shit and I listen to her now. I don't try to, because she tried to hold me accountable. I didn't want it. I didn't want to go back to jail then. I didn't want to start my steps over. I wanted to be sober, but I wasn't willing to do certain things. Yeah. And my excuse was always, well, I'm honest, because most of the people in my life knew that I had a warrant, like the important people. So that was my excuse, right? I'm being honest with those people. So that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, sober or not, I can be delusional as shit sometimes. I can, but God brought her back into my life. You know, and he put her back in my path, and I'm truly grateful for that, man. So grateful because she holds me accountable. She holds me to a standard, you know, and she loves me. You know, she truly does, and she just wants to help me recover. That's it. So,
And that's what it takes. You know, we got to have people hard on us, like you know, my wife's hard on me because listen, I got so much going on. I'm here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm there, and
mhm.
you know, I'm making a decision wintertime, man, to pull back a little on what I'm doing and let's get to the family because you know I've been doing this for a long time, and there's some new people out here. There's you. You know,
Yeah,
you need to tell your story more. You need to get out here and recover out loud. But
yeah,
you know, you got to have a balance of, you know, I'm out here. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm trying to save one, and the evidence is there. The proof's in the pudding. But
right,
you know, what am I? I'm stealing time from my family. I'm feeling stealing time from my wife. You know, and honestly, you know, my kids need me. You know what I'm
right.
saying? 'Cause the clock don't go backwards for a reason because it can't.
No,
And I'm understanding that today. You know, and I'm 42 years old. My wife's got a birthday coming up, man, and we're still going to help people, but you know, sometimes we got to take a break. You know,
yeah,
it's nothing to do with you know, the cup's empty, whoop de whoop, because I stay
right.
spiritual fit. But I have bad days, and my wife's like, "Listen
Yeah,
here, bro, come here. You know, you gonna stop." But you know, once I go out and I do what I do and go to the jail and get on here and speak and put people in treatment, whoop de whoop de whoop, you know, my spirit comes back. But
right.
you know, I'm just grateful that we're in position to do this.
Absolutely.
Protea believes in us. So many success stories, and I could keep going. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But back to what I said: if all this was gone today, and people say they're so strong in their recovery, like if everything was stripped away from us today,
mhm.
are we okay with us?
I'd still be sober in the morning. You know
Yep.
what I
Yep.
mean? Like that's that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
it is.
I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to wake up and have a shot to get out of bed. I don't want to be a whore, to be honest. You know, I don't want to be those things anymore. You know, so if I woke up tomorrow, my wife left me, my daughter didn't want to be around me anymore, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, I'd still be sober. And that's
Amen.
what it comes down to.
Well, listen, we're gonna wrap this up, man. Listen, I love you. My wife loves you. She's proud of you. Everybody on here is proud of you. Listen, tell your story. I didn't know this was your first time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be your last time because I got some. I'm going to throw you in a few things here and a few shows, a few rallies, a few jail ministry. Yeah,
All right.
I got you and your wife. Believe that. But listen, keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping people. Hopefully, we'll see you all soon. I don't know when, but give us a hope shot before we close out here.
um, Hope shot, man. Just remember that because you were out there today does not mean you have to be out there tomorrow. Reach out, man. Reach out. Because I promise you, it'll be the hardest, but the best thing that you'll ever do. And people love you, man. We all love you for real. And this shit's real. It's real.
Amen. Amen. Listen, I love you. Thank you. You done
Love you.
awesome.
Thank
Show
you.
out 10. I'll holler at you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Yes, sir. Raven brought a powerful story tonight. My camera's a little blurry. I don't know what's going on here, but listen, you know, it just shows you no matter where you're at in recovery, man, one bad decision, man, could take you back down. And you know, thankfully, you know, she pulled through that and she's still alive today. She's a huge face of recovery, man. Powerful story. If you're out there struggling, man, help's available. My number is 859-300-1503. There's recovery beds, there's sober living beds, there's IOP beds, man. There is no reason why you should be continuing to living in the hell, the own chaos that you're doing to yourself. Um, you know, life is awesome today, all because I was spared and I have people that believe in me. I'm gonna get some shout outs here, then we're gonna close this out. I don't know. We got so many comments here. Brittany Clemens, thank you for joining us, man. Tommy Barton, I see you. Ashley Barker. Anyway, we're going to close this out, man. If you're struggling, reach out. We love you all. We'll see you next Monday, hopefully. And we do recover, man. You know, help's available. We're out of here.
You ain't got cold chill, something's wrong with you. Gotta know it. You in the wrong building. Know where to turn.
I could really use a friend right now.
Yeah, I just need a friend.
I'm staring at my window pane. I'm staring at my window pane. I could use a friend. I could use a friend. I just need a friend right now. Right now. I'm staring at my window pane.
I'm counting raindrops, like where's God at? When will the pain stop? Like when will this be over? How come I can't stop? I swear to God, I can't stop. I ain't believing God, still I would pray to him. When no one else around, when they brought them trays to him. Like where my rider dies, it's like I was dead to him. This is my window pane, I view the world
Staring
through
at my